Ladies and gentlemen, oil has officially become buy the dip. Luckin Coffee, can it rally tomorrow? I think it's going to. Zoom video. What is the true price of offering your product in China? Is the market rallying tomorrow? As well as a little psychology segment. What makes a successful trader for you as an individual, and why Wall Street's boxing you up and putting you in one standard barrel has failed the masses? We're going to talk about my algo levels as well as our final thoughts. I am Mark Melnick. This is the Newsbeat Show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Newsbeat Show. Have so many great things to talk to you about today. Oil. We were supposed to have an OPEC meeting tomorrow, and it has been postponed to April 9th. I believe that is this Thursday coming up as the OPEC meeting is postponed. We're going to talk about the implications and why it means so much for the United States. There's still people who think, well, the world can buy cheap oil. This is great for everyone. Sure, if you don't have any oil companies within your country, it's great. Luckin Coffee, they fraudulently said that they were making 300 million more dollars in sales and revenue than they actually have. And they paid the ultimate price. And Zoom Video is going to show you what is the true price of offering your product in China. And with the market gapped up rallying, as well as our psychology segment, and I want to share with you all these things, but first I need you to pause on this next video, read it in its entirety, and then hit play. Thank you so much for reading that. Let's get right over to our agenda. We're going to start off talking about oil has officially become BTFD. Now, oil after hours started plunging after the OPEC meeting was moved from Monday to Thursday. You need to understand what's happening here. You need to understand the power play of what Saudi Arabia is doing. I've always believed that a more informed trader is always a better trader. Traders who just want to look at a chart all day and make 100% of their decisions based on that chart while just randomly picking whatever chart patterns come up their way are the traders that are most likely to fail. I believe using more things, being more informed, and understanding more things that you have the best chance of success. So we're going to start off here with oil. The first one, oil has officially become buy the freaking dip. What else? What did you think the F stood for? Ford Motor Company? I wouldn't buy that stock. Now, this is a power play by Saudi Arabia. It's not a coincidence that Saudi Arabia started boosting output and basically destroying all the OPEC meetings right after this coronavirus thing came about. If Saudi Arabia does not cut their output and keeps this oil cheap, every single U.S. oil company will go out of business or very close to it, including the big ones. We're talking ExxonMobil. Oh, they'll never go out of business. Sure, it won't. Chevron, things like that. But I don't think it's going to get to that point. It's just the fear of it happening. You see, what they don't like to talk about and what many people don't talk about is these companies here in the U.S. You hear it all the time. Oh, we have the largest reserve of oil in the known world with our Alaska pipelines and everything. And U.S. really has more oil than the Venezuela and South America and in the Middle East. And you hear it all the time, right? But here's the thing. Here is the thing with oil. What people are not, and I'm just pulling up ExxonMobil here just for an example. What people don't realize is that on oil, it costs Saudi Arabia like $6 to $7 to pull a barrel of oil out of the ground, and it costs the U.S. about $26 to $27 to produce that same barrel. And it's not only that U.S. wages are inevitably higher than they are in Saudi Arabia. The example I like to give people when you're trying to think why does it cost the U.S. 4 times more approximately to produce the same barrel of oil, I say go like this. I want you to go to shale rock, take your two fingers and go like this. See how far you get down. Then I want you to go to sand, like a sandbox or a cup of sand, and go like this and see how far you get down. It's much easier to put your finger through the sand. You penetrate a bit deeper. And the same concept remains true based on the ease of drilling oil in the Middle East. So what's happening here is they are literally putting, Saudi Arabia is literally putting every U.S. oil company at risk. That's why U.S. is stepping up. Some people are confused. They're like, wouldn't we want cheaper oil? I mean, we already filled up our strategic reserve of oil. We already maxed it out with oil at these prices. Wouldn't we want to keep it cheap? And the answer is no, because if we keep it too cheap, there's no point in U.S. oil companies existing. And then if the price goes back up, these oil companies don't no longer exist. Think about that. So oil started spiking last week when President Trump was supposed to meet President Putin, at least on a phone call or some form of conversation. I doubt they're going to be using Zoom video. We'll be discussing that shortly, why as well. But it was postponed. So to me, this is how I feel. I feel it's quite obvious what they're going to be talking about. How do you stabilize the price of oil? It's kind of funny when you go to certain European countries and whatnot, and certain countries around the world, you'll see the price of oil massively higher. This is going to be a conversation about how to inflate the price of oil, not how to decrease it. So, with oil trading just really near, I mean, we're talking like really dead dirt bottom oil prices here. And the fact that oil is down after hours right now as we speak through the, you know, futures trading, this to me is a BTFD. It's by the freaking dip. Luckin Coffee. You've heard about them. Luckin Coffee was the geniuses. Luckin Coffee was the geniuses that literally lied about $300 million in lies. And, you know, basically the stock has been really beaten up, and the CEO is putting it on them and whatnot and trying to answer questions. Here's the bottom line with Luckin Coffee. I mean, the stock is trading, it traded at all-time lows on Thursday at 490. It hit a low of 528 on Friday. The stock closed at 538. The stock closed on Friday 48 cents above the all-time low. I am going to step in, and I am not a fan of these Chinese companies in the way they report. They are subject to different reporting standards than US companies. It's a lot easier to get away with fraud. I have seen more Chinese company fraud out there than I have American company fraud, despite, being able to witness lovely companies like Enron. I think now is the time to buy Luckin Coffee. I think there's a good chance you're going to get back to 10 and a half bucks, which is 100% higher than where it is now. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if that happens this week. So maybe you get a 100% move in Luckin Coffee this week. Whether it's 100% or not, I think it's going to be a massive move. And I need to explain myself on this one. Right now, Luckin Coffee is a $1.3 billion company. In its heydays, when it was 51 bucks, it was trading around 13.5 to 14 billion dollars. So obviously, this whole accounting scandal, which the company owned up, is going to be taking it on the chin for. Already, you have every single scumbag law firm coming out and trying to recruit people to sue the company. And I say scumbag law firm because this is all these law firms do. These are the same law firms that just sue every single company that goes down. Like, they actually advertise themselves. Like, you could even go to like a Yahoo Finance here, and it's like they're actually, come in and sue. Here's another one. Come in and sue. Here's another one. Come in and sue. Wow, what is this? Come in and sue. Come in and sue. Oh my God, those are 5 different law firms posting on Yahoo Finance to come in and sue Luckin Coffee. And obviously, Luckin Coffee really dropped the ball, and they probably deserve to get sued, which is a whole nother story. But nonetheless, the slime, the bottom of the barrel slime comes out, and the scumbags at Luckin Coffee, really just screwed investors over by lying about their numbers, and they deserve every single thing that's thrown at them. But now, with that being said, I need to point out something that is very, very big. The fact that Luckin Coffee says that they're going to actually continue business. They are actually going to continue business amid this financial probe. I bet you never saw Luckin Coffee's logo. It's like a deer looking towards the stars. They don't mention that this deer right here that you see on the coffee cup, they're looking for the missing finances. Like, where's that $300 million they said we made? Has anyone seen it? Look up. That's what that deer is doing right there. And the company is going to basically remain open during this whole thing. Now, look, this company was designed to take on Starbucks. The CEO has openly admitted it. The fabricated sales ended up being 310 million and the stock got plummeted. I am saying this is going to be a buying opportunity because nobody knows how these lawsuits are going to pan out and they're still going to be doing business. Now, if the company shut all their stores and whatnot, that's another story. That is where the company is trading. A billion-dollar company, after a plummet like that, basically is saying, are you going to shut down all your stores and go bankrupt, or are you going to continue going up? No, I'm not claiming it's going to get back to $50 anytime in the near future. But for me to see this stock go to 8, 9, 10, 11, I could easily see that happening. I think especially if you could buy Luckin Coffee before it breaks 735, which is Friday's high. I know it looks like a tight range right here. It's actually a $2.07 range, this little bar you see. It represented, 40% of the stock's value off the lows, right? Um, I think Luckin Coffee is going to rally. I don't like this company. I never believed in this company, but at these levels and keeping your doors open and continuing business as usual until we find out how they're going to be punished, I think is going to create a short-term buying opportunity. Speaking of China, Zoom Video. What is the true price of offering your product in China? You all remember when it was a year or two ago when Google had this Dragonfly project, Project Dragonfly. How cute. Like the dragon is a very symbolic mythical creature of China and it's obviously one of the Chinese zodiac animals, the dragon. So they had Operation Dragonfly. And what they were going to do, Google, was they were going to introduce a Chinese government backed web browser in China. But what people don't realize in China is as soon as you enter China, there are no more secrets. I mean, you can make a similar argument to the United States, and we're pretty much almost there, but we do respect some certain privacy laws, and we have to go through courts if we want to obtain documents, not China. China, basically, anything that you do in China gets recorded by the government. Where you use the bathroom, where you're going out, whether you use on the phone, whatever it is. And that couldn't be more apparent with Zoom Video. Very few people know that when you actually go to China, you can't go to gmail.com unless you're using some like hacked VPN through something. You actually can't go through gmail.com in China. You actually can't go to google.com in China. You'll get some message written in Chinese saying the website cannot be found. So what happens is we have this Zoom video, which has been absolutely exploding in value. Just based, and I'll delete some of my trend lines here just so you can see the chart more easy or more easily. Zoom video basically was allowing people in China who to use their service who were under COVID-19. Now, as it goes through China, as it routes through China, China holds on to this information. Now, what is China going to do with two people talking, either doing teaching lessons or videos or heck, who cares? Even some form of crazy cyber sex, or even if you leave your credit card. Like, I really don't know what China is going to want to do with that information. The answer is probably nothing. But people do not like the fact that their privacy is being directly invaded by China without their knowledge. So thousands of Zoom video calls are left exposed, and the CEO came out to basically address it. And they said Zoom videos are not recorded by default, but call hosts can choose to record them and save them to Zoom servers. And what's happening is with these privacy concerns is basically China's been recording this information. Again, I don't know how it does or does not help them, but that makes people feel a little creepy. I mean, if I told you that there was a country recording what you do in the bathroom, you would probably be very uncomfortable with that, even though probably wouldn't change your life at all, right? Zoom's audience went from $200 million, 200 million daily active users, which is DAU, in March, and that's up from 10 million in December. So you're dealing with a company who basically has 20 more people on in March for every one in December. And based on the fact that they allow their stuff to go through China, the information gets taken. Even Elon Musk said that, he's going to no longer be using Zoom with everything, despite the fact that Tesla opened up a factory in China. It'll be very interesting to see how this market digests this information. I already see that New York City schools have no longer are no longer allowing Zoom to be used. Again, what would China want to do with a bunch of elementary school teachings? Beats the heck out of me. Next, we're going to talk about the market rallying tomorrow. Step 4 over there. So, all right. So the market right now, just so to be clear as we speak, I'm not going to be one of those, scumbags who talk, why I think the market's going to go up tomorrow. And you're going to get that like tonight at some time. No, the market is already up. Maybe we go down, maybe, but we're already up. Nasdaq Minis up 109 points, Dow Jones Futures 231 points, and the S&P Minis up 30 points at the moment. We're having a nice gap up. Here is the bottom line. You are getting positive COVID news. Finally, something that everybody has been looking for. Coming out of New York. New York saying that the curve has been slowing down. There's been, what was it, less deaths or something? Thank God. This is going to change our country. And I'm probably going to do a follow-up video and explain how, and I'm going to explain the real companies that are going to benefit. You see, a lot of people, I did a video the other day talking about Delta Airlines and why I think it's going to $0. And a lot of people out there is like, Delta Airlines is going to get, they're going to get bailed out. And I'm like, look, Delta Airlines is losing $60 million a day. They're going to restructure the company. Why would you want to give money to a company that's no longer going to exist? It's going to exist, but under a restructured company. They're going to go through bankruptcy. They're going to wipe the debt off the books, just like they did in General Motors. And this is a very bold statement I'm making. And it's just my opinion. Again, you read the disclaimer. I'm entitled to my opinion. I don't own a Delta position at all at the moment. I think they're going to restructure the company just like they did in General Motors. And you're going to see a lot of that. And you want to know the irony of it. When you see Delta Airlines restructure, you're going to see brand new jets, brand new facilities, and they're going to be giving a lot of their business over to Boeing and buying all the new Boeing planes. And you're going to go, and the people who are going to fly on Delta, they're going to look and be like, look at all these new planes and everything. Didn't they just file bankruptcy? They did. But what's going to happen is they're going to take and upgrade all their new everything. They take money from the government. The government's going to have a say in what they do. I want you to buy planes from Boeing. Okay, let's go get brand new jets. Here, pull out that eraser you have. What is that? Money you owe? Let's get rid of that. Let's give you a solid balance sheet. And the common shareholders who own Delta Airlines, if that were to happen, You should fear that the same thing that happened with that can, what has happened with General Motors can also happen with Delta Airlines. Next, um, I want to talk about the psychology of what makes a successful trader. And it's not going to be one of those imbecile videos where you have somebody who feels like they can answer the situation because they're a profitable trader. Here's what makes a profitable trader. And if you were looking closely, I literally made it my quote today. So I'm going to start with this one. What do you call a trader who fails using 100 different strategies and then succeeds as one? And the answer, a successful trader. What do you call a trader who fails using 100 different strategies, can't figure out anything that works for them, and then finds one that works for them? What do you call that person? A successful trader. You see, there's too much idiocy where people think they could be helped by a professional. There's too many people who are, I think in Italy they say you have like spaghetti on your ear. Here they say you have like milk around your lips, like you just came off of the teat, I guess is the implication there, like you're a newbie at life. What makes the difference? And they come to you and they say, well, what are you interested in? Are you interested in day trading or swing trading? And they'll come to you with those two idiotic, completely imbecilic, illogical, detrimental, harmful questions. And you'll be like, oh, I mean, I always like day trading or I always like swing trading. Beautiful. Here you go. This is what you have to do. Really? I thought, when I was growing up in school, I was told that all humans are unique, that we're all different people. We all have our strengths and weaknesses, and we all have things that we could be we could do well at. Whatever happened to that? Whatever happened to that? So this is what I'm going to do for you. This is what I'm going to do for you. What I do now for Newsbeat Live members is I am going to try to find different strategies that have different psychological implications as often as humanly possible. I'm going to try to shoot for once a week, but I'm not going to just force a strategy down somebody's throat just to actually just, force it down somebody's face. And what I was leaning towards here on this entire market is something that is very, very simple, something that I'm going to call like strategy, um, basically strategy identification for people. So tonight, for example, or not tonight, it was yesterday, I created a strategy that has psychological implications. It's kind of funny because when you ask traders what percentage of trading is psychology, almost every trader gives you an answer between 70 and 100%. And then, of course, I give the follow-up point. Well, why are you just sitting there looking at your charts thinking that's all you have to do? I mean, yeah, it's a big part of the game, but just because you drink water doesn't mean you don't need food to survive, right? But what if there was a strategy that prevented overtrading, allows you to catch potentially very large moves, offers a confirmation, allows you to identify your risk 100% of the time, allows you to focus on as little as one name, and is psychologically fortifying? So, what I am doing now is I am creating strategies not just based on buy here, sell here, look at my P&L, which Wall Street loves to do, which believe me, I can do, and I'll shamefully admit that that used to be me a long time ago. And I used to be able to say, look at all this money. Look at all this money I made doing this. Come join me today. That doesn't really work. That's why 97% of traders fail. So you have to think, well, what am I doing that is really potentially, maybe, just maybe, the only room on Wall Street that is accomplishing numbers that beats the retention rate of every single trading room out there? What am I doing here that makes the Newsbeat Live Room T3 Live's number one trading room destination? What am I doing that makes us number one here? What? I am accepting and admitting the fact that you are all different, that you come in all shapes and sizes, strengths and weaknesses, different colors, green, purple, white, black, blue, orange. You're all different human beings. You all have strengths and you all have weaknesses. My job as a guru is to help you discover one thing you're good at a time. And even if you're bad at 100 things, and I can help you discover the one thing, or not the one thing, or at least one thing that you are good at, your chances of becoming a successful trader basically went from zero to a number that is phenomenally much higher, in my opinion, in the high 90s, if you're able to accomplish that. Yet nobody likes to evolve. Nobody likes to evolve. In fact, I could probably just flash you my P&L and I could probably get by and people will join up for my room and people will love my service and I could just probably continue on like that. It would make my life easy. I could, look over the yacht in which I don't own outside my window, or the palm trees, or the gorgeous view, and drive around in my Ferrari in which I don't own, or maybe a private jet in which I never flew on in my life. Maybe that's what you want to see because that to you is what success looks like. That is not what success looks like. Success looks like somebody who has, you know, some dark circles under their eyes, despite the fact that they didn't get into a fist fight recently, and is up all night looking at charts trying to figure out ways in which you can discover a strategy in which you can profit on a daily basis. It looks like hard work, and it is hard work, and that's all there is. There's no easy magic bullet. There's no easy strategy. There's no up, down, left, right, all around. Everyone out there who throws that at you is basically saying they might as well flip you a middle finger because they would be doing you a favor if they did that. You would save a lot of money if they just, flipped you the bird. So, what I'm going to do, as I always promise for Newsbeat Live members, I'm going to continue. And this is not about nickel and diming you. This is not like, oh, look, there's a new strategy. Time to create a new course and, sell it and I'm the largest room here. I could probably bring in a ton of revenue, right? It's not about nickel and diming you. It's about getting you to the next level from where you are right now and giving you as much as humanly possible for free and going above and beyond your expectations as a trading guru, mentor, broadcaster, and if you want to use the way I feel, family, because that's what family does. And that's what trading is about. So don't fall for the nonsense that there's a magic bullet strategy out there. The truth is, all these strategies which once worked will not work at some point in the future. It's a matter of when, not if. Is somebody really fighting to discover new things for you constantly? Are you getting new strategies every week from wherever trading service that you are using outside of T3 on Wall Street? Are you? Are you? Probably not. How about tomorrow's levels today? Here. Here are the algo levels for tomorrow. Support and resistance levels. They don't always hit. Email me. Let me know if you want me to add Microsoft to that list. Might as well, right? It's either the number one or two top most valuable company in the United States, right? Apple and Microsoft. Let me know if you want Microsoft added to this list. I've been thinking about it. Not only that, whether you're a Newsbeat Live member or not, maybe I can help you. Maybe. I answer all my emails. I don't have a bunch of, you know, super duper attractive with somehow perfect teeth, smiling representatives on the phone. You ever see that? Like waiting, we have our team waiting on sales on standby, and then they show you on TV the picture of the team, and it's like some, you know, some woman with like perfect white teeth and smiling and with her makeup done right, even though she's on a chair and she's in a cubicle alone with no one else around her. She's just sitting there waiting for your call. Similar to the 1-900 numbers that we used to see when we were kids watching TV, remember? She's just sitting there, like smiling, like with a little headset on. And you don't even hear her talking because you hear the guy talking. Like, our staff is waiting to serve you now. And you see the woman smiling, like, she's just having such a good time talking to you. I answer all my emails. You want to email me? Newsbeat, one word, Newsbeat at t3live.com. And you can ask me any question you want. And as somebody who's watched the video up until this point, I will still go above and beyond to do whatever I can to legally help you. I hope you guys enjoyed this Newsbeat show. Happy trading, make money, and I will see you guys tomorrow on the Newsbeat live trading broadcast. Have a wonderful evening.